Hey everybody, y'all, let me start by saying this is my third time recording this freaking video because it would not upload, okay? Yeah, so that's gonna be quick, okay? Y'all already know what I'm here for. I'm here to give y'all my take on the haves and the have-nots. This is season 5, episode 26. Although it was supposed to be episode 25, but they just skipped a whole number like we wasn't gonna notice. Whatever. This was titled A Father's Regret. Now, we know that Jim Cryer does not regret anything that he does, regardless of how horrible it is. So, of course, they're speaking of David Harrington. But before we even jump into all of that, if this is your first time on my channel, please, 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 please click that like button. Then go ahead, click that subscribe button. I promise to give you great commentary on some of your favorite shows, just like this one. And for my returning subscribers, thank y'all so much for coming back. I love y'all. Okay, now let's get into the reason why we're here. Okay, episode 26, A Father's Regret. So the episode starts off where it left off with big buff Malik. Yeah, he kind of cute though, although he remind me of of War, but he kind of cute. So anyways, he's been given instructions to go into Hannah's house and scare her for Candace so that Hannah can give Candace her money. Okay, so Malik has his whole game plan. He goes in there, he starts questioning her like, where's your daughter? Where's Candace? Where she live? She owe me money, and she said you got the money and you need to pay me. Now what you got to say to that? Is that true? And so Hannah, lying, okay? I guess she figured, well, it ain't Sunday, okay? It's Saturday. I can lie on Saturday. Whatever. So she lies and says that, no, that's not true. She doesn't have the money. Now, that made me look at Hannah side-eye because really, if it was Benny, she would have just coughed up the money, okay? But since it is her daughter, she acting like her name is Bennett and she ain't in it, okay? So at this point, Malik even goes a step further to say, if I don't have my money by the morning, Candace is dead, along with you and Benny. I'll come back for y'all. And Hannah just looking scared, like, I don't know, I don't have it. I'm like, girl, your daughter somebody is threatening her life, and you still ain't gonna give up the money. You gonna give the money to the FBI instead, but whatever, okay? So Hannah explained to him, look, me and my daughter are estranged, okay? We don't even talk. So if you thought you was gonna get anything out of me, it's not gonna happen, okay? Okay, so in the meantime, Candace and RK are still outside in the little lookout van, okay? They're wondering, like, what is taking so long? And Candace is like, I have no idea what's taking so long because I gave him specific instructions. So as long as he goes in there and does what I told him to do, he should have been out by now. And so at this point, RK is like, okay, well, let's just have small talk, okay? So, question, is your mother a weak woman? So, Candace had to be honest in this moment. Like, no, she's not a weak woman. And so, RK says, okay, yeah, I didn't think so. Okay, so Candace is like, why not? Because you don't even know her. And, well, RK was like, well, she raised you, so she couldn't be a weak woman. And then Candace gonna say, no, correction, I raised myself, okay? I've been on my own since I was 17. Yeah, I had a whole problem with that statement, okay? Because Candace said 17, not 7. That means your mother raised you from the time you were a baby till you were 17. Technically, at 18, you're an adult. So 1 year out of your, minor years, your mother didn't raise you, okay? But she raised you. Like, you got to give credit where credit is due, okay? Once you got older, you were 17 and up and out the house, the world raised you because of the lifestyle you decided to live. But your mother did not expose you to that, okay? So I had a whole problem with that, okay? But anyways, back to the story. Okay, play. So, next thing you know, RK is like, well, y'all do have the same DNA. I'm just saying, I can tell, there are similarities there. So, Candace is like, okay, whatever. So anyways, RK says, I've never met a weak black woman. Then Candace is like, well, everybody has a weakness. It just depends on what that weakness is. So RK is like, okay, well, what's your weakness? You don't have one, do you? And then Candace is like, nope. Now, pause, hold up. If she had a weakness, why would she tell you that, okay? Candace is smarter than that, okay? Whatever. So, next thing you know, RK calls himself psychoanalyzing Candace, okay? He's like, you know what? You're a very mad person, okay? You're You like big mad, okay? I can tell just by looking at you. Like clearly somebody did something to make you mad. At some point you went down the wrong road in your life or made a wrong turn or somebody showed up unexpected that wasn't supposed to. And she's like, oh, I see what you're doing. You're studying people, okay? You're trying to study behaviors and all that. Oh, okay. I get it because I used to do the same thing. Well, let me tell you what. Keep doing what you're doing and maybe one day you'll be almost as good as me. So, next thing you know, they're still wondering what's taking so long. They're growing impatient. Malik is like not having any luck with Hannah at this point. Okay, so at this time, Benny calls Candace. Now remember, last week, Candace had spoken to Benny and she told him to go to the hotel to meet her there. Really, she was just trying to get him away from the house, okay? So he wouldn't be involved in all of this. So Benny is calling her like, girl, where you at? Like you need to hurry up. Well, Candace didn't pick up the phone, okay? Because she already knew, like, that's what he was calling for. So Candace calls Gia because she tells Gia, like, look, my brother is at the hotel. He about to be outside my hotel room. You need to keep him busy, whatever you got to do. And I'm thinking, girl, little do you know, Gia already slept with him. And if that can't keep him occupied, I highly doubt her conversation is going to keep him occupied. Okay, so, but Gia says, okay, I'll do what I can. Okay, so then we have Jeffrey, okay? Remember last week's episode, Jeffrey, like, was at the bar with Veronica, and Veronica tells him, like, oh, I'm grieving your father, but wouldn't go into any further detail, okay? So Jeffrey kept calling David, but David wasn't answering the phone. So Jeffrey speeds over to David's house, and, like, little does he know, he was walking into a whole crime scene, okay? So when he gets there, he's taken back because there's, like, police lights and police cars everywhere, okay? There's caution tape up. Clearly something bad has happened. So he does just like any one of us would do. He like freaks out and runs up there like, what is going on? Like, this is my father's house. Y'all gonna let me in? What's going on? So the police calm him down. They're like, hold on. Okay, you're his father. You're his son. Okay, great. Well, I have a few questions for you. And then so Jeffrey is like, is he okay? The police officer doesn't know, but they tell Jeffrey that they're going to contact the hospital that he's at and check on his current condition, and they'll let him know. Okay, great. So then they asked him, like, do you know anybody that would, like, want to, like, harm your father? And so Jeffrey was like, oh, yeah, I'm not holding back. I can tell you exactly who it is. I know that it's my mother, Veronica Harrington. Okay, her address is blah, 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 blah. Her social security number is this. This is where she worked at. This is her last 9 jobs. This is current places you can find her at. This is her morning number, her noon number, her night number. He was just giving out all the details, okay? And so they're like, okay, well, thank you for that. And so Jeffrey says, like, what happened here? And they're like, there were explosives in the car. So Jeffrey is like, oh, gosh. So then he looks over at the car. He's like, he sees, like, a little, like, black, like, figure in the car. He's like, is that a body? And so they're like, oh, yes, sir, I'm so sorry. Yeah, it is. We don't know who it was, but we do know it was a female. And then so Jeffrey says, well, dang, my dad was dating someone. They said, well, do you know her name? No, because my dad kept her on the hush hush, okay? So he don't know the names at this. He don't know no names at this point. Okay, so police officer comes up, updates Jeffrey on what hospital his father is at, and they let him know that he's stable, that he's in critical condition. So at this point, they want to continue asking Jeffrey questions, and he was like, ain't nobody got time for that. I need to go check on my father. So he like rushes away. He was like, catch me when you can, okay? Come to the hospital and ask me questions, but right now is not the time nor the place, okay? So Jeffrey leaves. Now, we head back to the county jail, okay? Remember, Wyatt is in the county jail. So Justin is loving the fact that Wyatt's in jail, and he comes back up to Wyatt's cell. Wyatt is super happy because he feels like Justin has his fix, which Justin does, but Justin likes to tease him. So he lets him know, like, look, I got it, but I can't give it to you right now. It's too many people around, too many people looking. We're going to have to wait until the shift change, which is in an hour. And so Wyatt is like, I'm not about to wait no hour. Like, I'm over here dying. So Justin is like, okay, good. Like, but whatever. Justin was like, look, I want to forewarn you. I got this stuff out of the evidence room. Okay, that means it is grade A heroin. Like, this is the type of stuff that could kill you. So Wyatt is like, cool. I just won't take a lot. And so Justin is thinking the same thing as us. Like, me and you know good and well that you're not going to limit yourself, okay? But low key, that's really what Justin wants. Not even low key, high key. That's what he wants. Like, I don't even know if it's going to be actual heroin. Knowing Justin, like, he probably put something in it to make sure that Wyatt dies. But we shall see if he does go forward with taking these drugs. Okay, so he doesn't give it to him, and Justin walks away. Okay, so the next thing you know, after Wyatt gets done begging, we see Jim at the county jail. So Jim is approved to go and speak to his son, as his lawyer. So he goes up to the cell. Wyatt got a whole attitude, and like it's like everything that happens in his life is his parents' fault. And so Jim is like, well, son, how are you doing? And so Wyatt is like, dude, how you think I'm doing? And so Jim is like, okay, well, you look horrible. And he's like, yeah, like, no kidding. Like, why doesn't anybody, like, listen to me? Like, I'm sick. And so Jim was like, hold up, pause. Okay, step on the brakes. You're not sick, okay? This is the choice that you're making over and over. Now, pause, okay? This is a controversial statement because if anybody knows anybody or has had experience with people that are on drugs, like, some people say it's a choice and some people say, like, it's a sickness, it's a disease. Now, okay, like, I'm not, like, a counselor or anything. I don't know. But I do know that, like, sometimes when people are on these substances, they literally feel like they, like, can't help themselves. Like, their body is craving it. So, like, maybe in the beginning it was a choice. And now, like, at this point, for him to get off of it, he would need, like, professional help. But he would actually need to make the choice to seek out help and really want to change and be better, okay, and to get off of this. So I just had to throw in that tidbit, okay? Okay, so next thing you know, Jim is like, look, you need to listen to me or you're going to be stuck in here for the rest of your life. And so Wyatt is like, I probably will because they done took my immunity off the table. Now they want me to testify against y'all in the Jennifer Salison case. And so Jim is like, well, what did you tell them? He said, I didn't tell them nothing, okay? But I'm telling you that I got a medical condition and I need my stuff. And so Jim is like, boy, bye. Okay, you don't have a medical condition, but look, I'm gonna work on getting you out of here, and you just be chill, okay? Wyatt is just so ungrateful. He's disrespectful. He's just like, okay, whatever. This whole time, listening to Wyatt in the cell talking about how he's sick and all this, and like he's just super rude to people. I'm just like, boy, look at my eyes, roll them. Okay. So, next thing you know, we see David in the hospital. Now, when we see David, he is lying on his stomach, okay? So, his back is exposed. We can see, like, all these horrible, like burn marks everywhere, okay? He looks like he's in a ton of pain, okay? So, at this point, he decides that, the nurse is in the room and the nurse has said she's giving him something to go to sleep. Well, he's like, I'm not tripping off my pain. I want to know if Erica is okay. Where is Erica? Erica. And so the nurse is like purposely ignoring him because they can't tell him anything that has happened to her because his blood pressure is already high. It's at stroke level. So if they tell him, like, that will just send him over the cliff. So they're just simply ignoring him. And so they tell him, like, your doctor will be here in the morning. So you just need to calm down. Don't stress yourself out. We will talk about everything later. Okay, cool. So next thing you know, Jeffrey arrives at the hospital. He's like super excited to see his dad. But before they go in, the doctor updates him on how David is doing and how he's in critical condition, but he's stable. But he keeps asking for a girl named Erica. They said, whatever you do, do not tell him what has happened to her. She did not make it in the accident, but do not tell him that. So at this point, Jeffrey, he realizes, the girl that got burnt up that he saw at his dad's house, that was Erica. That must have been his girlfriend. Okay. So eventually, he's gonna figure out that 1 + 1 = 2, right? Okay. But right now he's so emotional, he's not thinking all of this through. So, like he's just letting all of this slide at this point. And Erica is a common name, but eventually he'll figure out that Erica is connected to Candace and so on and so forth. So, next thing you know, Jeffrey walks into the room, okay? David is out of it. He's delirious, but he's not asleep yet at this point. So Jeffrey goes to his father's side. He can't touch him because his father can't get like any type of infections. But, he talks to him like, man, Dad, like, are you okay? He's clearly not okay. But in this point, David has had nothing but time to sit there, to lay there and to like worry because he cannot believe that he's gotten to this place in his life. And he knows in the back of his mind, this was Veronica. It wouldn't be anybody else than her. So for one, this is where a father's regret comes in. He tells Jeffrey that he actually hasn't been concerned about himself, but now he's even more so concerned about his son. Being that he's in this position he's in, he's concerned about his son continuing on this relationship with Justin because he sees Justin's tendencies and they are very similar to Veronica, okay? Except Veronica is a whole nother notch, okay? Justin may not have hired anybody to, blow up a car, okay? But he is, coming close to that, okay? So he tells him, like, son, I'm really concerned about you. This is a toxic relationship you're in. I regret showing you that, like, this is what love is because this is not what love is. Like, you don't have to deal with that. And I'm concerned if you don't stop this relationship soon, that you'll be in my same position. I don't want to come visit you at the hospital in this condition. So I really want you to, like, get past this, okay? Like, I watched your mother for years. I stood by her and watched her hurt people, but I stood by her in the name of love, and I shouldn't have, because I should have known that she's hurting other people, and one day it was going to be me, and that one day is today. So please get out of your situation. So Jeffrey is like, no, I totally understand. I know I have to get out of it. I just don't know how. And so David is like, just do it, okay? Please just do it. Do not be in my position. And I've already said it myself, like, the only way out of this situation with Jeffrey or Justin, one of them gonna have to die, okay? And Justin already told him that, like, okay, if I can't have you, can't nobody have you. So Justin gonna have to die, okay? I would much rather Justin die than Jeffrey, okay? Jeffrey is connected to multiple people in the show. Justin, he is disposable, okay? Now, and so I'm thinking, like, dang, is this foreshadowing this whole little conversation? Is Justin really gonna do something to Jeffrey? We'll see. Okay, so the next thing you know, David is like, hey, before you leave, please find out about Erica for me. Find out what's going on with her. So Jeffrey, just to, like, calm his dad's nerves, he's like, okay, I'll find out for you. Great. So then he is about to walk out the room, but he looks in the hospital, he looks at the door, and who is peeping through the window? Uh-oh, it's Justin. So I'm like, Justin, like, come on now. Like, you always have bad timing, okay? And they was just talking about you low-key, okay? So Jeffrey goes out of the room, and Justin's out there. He's like, oh, come here, give me hugs. I'm so sorry. I heard. And, like, Jeffrey is like, no, back up. Okay, wait, what? Like, no. And so Justin is like, well, how are you doing? So Jeffrey is like, well, how do you expect for me to be doing? And so he's like, what in the world happened? And so, like, Jeffrey is just overwhelmed and all this. And he's like, my mother did this, okay? And so then Justin had the nerve to say, dang it, I wished it would have worked. So Jeffrey is like, come again, what you talking about? So Justin is like, okay, confession time, truth moment. So you know how your mother got into that accident, her car flipped over? That was me. I ran into her car, but dang, she made it. And then so Jeffrey is like, hold on, pause. Like, what? Like, you cannot do that. That is still my mother. And he's like, yeah, but she's a horrible person. Look what she just did to your dad. He's like, dude, so what? That's my mother. You can't just go around hurting people. And then you expect me to be okay with it? I'm like, Jeffrey, this is what your dad just had a conversation with you about. And so Jeffrey is like, you know what? Like, can you just leave? Please leave. I need this time with my father alone. Just go. And so Justin is like, okay, I get it. He usually tries to push back, but we know he only gonna be around the corner, okay? But he was like, okay, I get it. So Justin walks away. When Justin leaves, then Jim walks up. Perfect timing. So Jeffrey updates Jim on what's going on, tells him, like, when you go in the room, do not say anything about the young lady that he has been with, what has happened to her, because she didn't make it, okay? Jim, like, gives him a hug, tells him he's a great son, whatever. They go inside, okay? So when they go inside, Jim is like, dang. Like, he basically was like, dang, you got knocked out. Like, you know, like Friday, okay? But I'm thinking, oh, good thing David is asleep and, like, he can't hear any of this. So at this point, Jeffrey is like, do you know who did this? And so Jim is like, nope. Jeffrey was like, yeah, you do. Like, it was my mother. And then, so Jim was like, hey, I had my suspicions. And then, so Jeffrey is like, well, she go to jail for this? And then he's like, well, you know your mother, like, she's a good lawyer. She gets out of a lot of things. But look, me and David, we will get our revenge, okay? But for now, make sure that you put security on the door and that somebody is watching this door at all times because you know your mother. And then so Jeffrey agreed, and he said that he will give the FBI as much information as they need because she really needs to go down for this. Okay. So then Jim leaves. So then we have Veronica, okay, the ice queen or fire queen, should we say. The devil in a red dress, but I think she had on a black dress because she's mourning, right? So she pours herself a drink. She's just sipping like it's nothing, okay? And at this point, it's time for her to celebrate. So she calls RK, okay? RK is still sitting in the van outside of Hannah's house with Candace. She calls RK and she's like, so you want your opportunity, you want your chance, I'm feeling some type of way, you have an hour to get over here and you can get exactly what you came for the other night. So Candace is in the background like, leave her alone, she's crazy, I'm telling you, just stop. And so RK is like, well, I'm a little tied up right now, so I'm not going to be able to make it in an hour. She was like, if you want to get with all of this, you're going to make it in an hour. So he was just like, okay, and got off the phone. Then Candace is like, I'm telling you, the woman is crazy. Don't say I didn't warn you. And I'm like, hold on, pause. Candace, you're the one that hooked him up with her to begin with. You're the one that sent him to her house so that she could get her mind off of Erica and David. And you wanted them to get frisky. Now all of a sudden you're like, I'm warning you. He wouldn't even known her if y'all didn't connect them. But whatever, okay? Candace gets amnesia sometimes, clearly, okay? So then next thing you know, Veronica's doorbell rings. And who is it? It is, what is his name, y'all? Robert Hawk. He is with the FBI, and he has his colleague John with him, okay? Now, Robert Hawk, Veronica is looking at him like he is a steak, honey, okay? Like, oh, you fine, and I'm already feeling some type of way. Like, what do you need? They say that from the FBI. So, of course, she makes them show identification and then lets them come in. They start looking around her house. She's like, y'all need to be looking all over my house. Y'all can take a seat. What do y'all want to talk to me about? So they tell her about her husband. She says she doesn't have a husband. She has an ex-husband. I'm like, girl, y'all didn't sign the papers yet. That's your husband, okay? So they tell her about him, but her reaction, she's like not sad at all. And they're like, why aren't you sad? She was like, because I couldn't stand him. We had bad blood in between us. They're like, well, do you know anybody that would want to harm him? Yeah, I would, okay? Me and 500 other people that he done put in jail because he's a judge. So tell me something I don't know. Like, and they was like, well, do you know what happened? She was like, no, what happened? And they said, well, it was like a car bombing. She starts laughing. And they're like, so do you know a girl named Erica? And she was like, I don't, but I would have to guess that that's probably one of his little Jezebels on the side. And so they're like, ma'am, like, why are you like happy about this? She was like, I know, you probably think I have motive, right? Wrong, okay? For one, he was not concerned about me when I got into an accident and my car flipped over because some madman ran me off the road. No, it wasn't him, but some madman ran me off the road and he wasn't concerned about me, so I'm not concerned about him, okay? As far as I'm concerned, you telling me this news, it's made my day. I loathe that man, okay? Now, is he alive or is he not? And they were like, he made it. And she's like, dang it. Well, whoever did it probably is going to try it again. They went through all this trouble to bomb the car. And so she's basically like telling them her plan. She's like, well, okay, look, you're going to stop looking around my house, okay? Because I see you continue scoping out the place, okay? You're not going to find anything. You're trying to get over on me, and I'm a lawyer. I'm a good one at that, okay? So I have cameras all around my house. I can prove that I was here whenever that happened to him. I have been here. I have cameras everywhere. And they're like, okay, well, we would like to see your camera. She's like, you know what? No need, because you're still not going to find anything, okay? Now, what you're going to do is you're going to stop looking around my house. You're going to look at me, because I know I'm fine. I know I'm attractive. And if you don't want to take care of the special needs that I have right now, then you can leave, okay? And she walks him to the door, and then she tells him, you know what? You are fine, so make sure you come back when you're off duty and don't bring him with you, okay? Okay. And I'm like, Veronica is crazy. I'm sure they did not expect that at all. But at the same time, she's a lawyer, so she's 2 steps ahead of them, okay? Okay, hope I'm not going too fast. Okay, so the next thing you know, we have Catherine, okay? So Catherine is in her kitchen. The news is on in the background, and the news has just announced that Great Value Obama has won the presidency, okay? First black president in the haves and the have-nots world, okay? Now, of course, Great Value Obama, that is Charles Frederickson, okay? So at this point, Catherine turns off the TV. Jim comes downstairs because he wants to talk to her about Wyatt, and she is adamant we are not speaking about Wyatt, okay? He is going to pay for what he did, okay? You want to get him out of jail? You get him an attorney. Get him Veronica. She's the best in town. And then so he's like, really, after all she's done? And she's like, she's the best in town, okay? And so then he says, speaking of Veronica, did you hear that she blew up like a car that David and his girlfriend were in? And so Catherine is like, she really gets on my nerves. I mean, she always comes up with the best ideas. Why couldn't I think of that with you and all your several chicks? And so Jim is like, ha, 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 very funny. But really, you do need to get Wyatt out of jail. She said, I said what I said, and it's not happening, okay? So you figure it out, okay? Your name is dead around town. I still got like some leverage, but I'm not doing nothing, okay? So she leaves. Great. So the next thing you know, we see RK and Candace. They're still in the van waiting, okay? So then Benny calls Candace, and Benny is like, look, I'm outside in the lobby. Where are you at? Now, I'm thinking to myself, Gia, what are you doing? Because Candace gave you specific instructions, so why is Benny sitting down there in the lobby? Like, you need to get it under control, okay? You work for the FBI, but you also work for Candace, so get it together. So next thing you know, Candace is like, I promise you, like, something came up. I'm behind, but I'm on my way right now. So RK is like, not RK, Benny is like, okay, you got 15 minutes, and then I'm leaving. Okay, they get off the phone. So Candace is like, oh my gosh, what is Malik doing in there? RK was like, well, he is a thief. He probably robbing your mama blind. Okay, so camera cuts to the house, okay? Malik has finished up his conversation with Hannah, but he tells her, I'm about to turn around, I'm about to leave, and you're not going to try anything, because if you try anything, you're going to regret it. Please don't try anything, okay? We had our conversation, okay? We here, okay? So then Hannah's like, okay. What? He walked away, and Hannah made the #1 mistake. She pressed a button. I don't know if that's alerting 911 or what, but Malik heard it, so he turned around and was like, dang, why you do that, okay? So he comes at her to attack her. She jumps over the bed, okay, and runs out the room. He runs after her and gets her. They make it to the kitchen in 2.5 seconds, okay? And, like, he still is, like, trying to, like, get her to, like pull her down. So Hannah gets, like, a cast iron like pan skillet and hits him over the head. He ain't moved by that, okay, y'all? He muscles everywhere. So he picks her up and he's like holding her up, and she like leans across like Superwoman, and magically there is a huge knife on the stove. She grabs the knife, puts it behind her, and stabs him in his chest, and he just bleeding everywhere, okay? She has blood all over her shirt, and I'm like, dang, he losing too much blood at once. Like, he might actually die. Like, this is not how the plan was supposed to go. So, meanwhile, he's like, oh, shoot, I'm hurt. And I'm thinking, are you going to tell her, like, what's really going on before you take your last breath? Because you're probably going to die. But we don't know, because the episode went out, and we won't find out until this next episode. So, if you made it this far in the video and you're not a subscriber, you may as well click that subscribe button. And thank you so much for making it all the way to the end. Like this video. Share, comment, subscribe. I'll see you guys on the next video. Bye.